Hi everybody, good afternoon and welcome to Hangout 7. And I'm going to do my usual thing of just waffle for a minute because I'm looking at my viewing numbers on the screen, which is a big fat 0 at the moment. So I'm guessing that you're not actually hooked up yet. I have just tweeted another link to this. It was tweeted yesterday and it's on Blackboard, but there is another tweet just gone out with a link to this if anyone's having trouble hooking up. And perhaps if you are there, you could just ping a good morning, sorry, a good afternoon, or a smiley or something in the questions column, just so we know that you've arrived. That would be fantastic. So I hope you're all getting on okay with topic 3, which is really extending the online identity discussion to focus on what this means for your professional selves and your professional identity online. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, but I'm still waiting for the numbers to kick in. We're looking at 0. And we have a special guest who I'll introduce in a moment. Aha! Carol is there. Great. Thanks for the smiley. So someone's seeing and hearing us, even though I've still got a 0 at the bottom.
I'm not sure that link works that you just tweeted.
Oh dear. That's, can you ping another one? Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thanks. No, it made a strange noise when I did it. I wasn't totally convinced, but as I was just about to go online, I did it in a rush.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, I'm getting lots of smileys. And 6 viewers now. Excellent.
Okay, so they found it.
So yeah, I think we're all up and running. So sorry if that last tweet didn't work. It was done in a bit of a hurry just as I was about to go online. Anyway, good afternoon, people. I'd like to introduce you to Ruben Binns we have with us this morning. Oh, I've said it again, this afternoon. It's still too dark outside to think of calling afternoon. So Ruben is a PhD student at the University of Southampton, and his research is very complementary to what you've been discussing in the last topic on online identity. So I've invited him along to say a few words about that, and he's got a little treat for you, which is if you would like to participate in his survey, which I think you'll find very relevant to the discussions we've been having. So our plan for this morning then is that I've got a little bit of initial feedback, a few notes I made last night on your topic 2 posts, but it's not complete yet because I've only done about half of them so far, so it's not quite ready to send back to you. But just a few general points I'll mention while they're fresh in my mind. And then obviously if you've got any particular questions you want to raise, at the moment I'm just seeing smiley faces, which is good. I'm nothing wrong with smiley faces. So I'll just check there's no other questions here before we get going. Yeah, lots of smileys, good to see. Okay, hello to you too, Evan. Gosh, lots of smileys. Who wants to go? Good morning. Yes, thank you. Okay, and Olya's just sent another link if anyone's still looking for the link to the Hangout. Right, okay, I think we're set to go. We're up to 16 on the viewers, so I'm going to pass over to Ruben now, and he's going to give you a bit of background about his work and himself and what he's doing, and invite you to participate in a little experiment which I think you'll find interesting and relevant. So thanks, Ruben, for getting up so horribly early, and I'm just going to click you onto the big screen, and over to you.
Great, thanks. So good afternoon, everyone. I understand it's the afternoon for you guys. But yeah, as Lisa said, I'm here at the University of Southampton. The topic of my PhD is looking at how people can see how their data is being used by organisations, have some control over how their personal data is used. So related to what you've been doing in identity, there's a particular study I'm doing which is looking at profile. Digital marketers need to work out who to target with their messages, and they often use profiles. a profile of an individual will include things like what they might be interested in. So what I'm interested in is how individuals might have some say over how those profiles are used, and might be able to control what information is included in them and what information they leave out. So to look at these two different systems of profiling, one where the traditional system where the things that you do online, the pages that you look at, are used to create a profile of you. That's one system. And there's another system where you as an individual decide what goes into your profile, and different systems and how they compare to each other, and whether the recommendations that, or the targeting that you can do using those profiles changes depending on which one you're using. So I've designed a study which basically tests these two profiles against each other. And so there's a link to the study posted on Twitter, so you can take that study. That will help us to understand which of these two. So the interest is that one of them is about your stated interest, and the other one is sort of history oriented in that it depends on what you did in the past. So I'm kind of interested to see how they differ. So if you want to take part, that would be great. And any questions you have about the topic or my PhD research, please do just raise the question. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ruben. I'm not sure. I had a little difficulty with the sound on some of that. I don't know, Olga, were you able to hear?
It's a bit sketchy, but I could get nearly everything.
Okay, well, hopefully people at the other end were able to hear, although please feel free to post any questions. But at this end, there were bits of that I missed. But perhaps, Ruben, I could ask you, how new is this? To what extent do you think this is actually already something that's happening with self-managed profiles, or is it still quite aspirational, do you think?
So this system is actually, if I answer the question right, are there any companies out there doing this? So yeah, there's a whole range of new companies that are interested in this way of doing things. So they're customers to join and then they get to edit their own profile, and then some of them even pay you in return for giving up the profile. So you can earn $8 a month by releasing your profile, and then they, on your behalf, allow marketers to target you based on your profile. So there are a bunch of companies, some in the United States, some here in the UK, and others around the world that are getting into this new way of doing it at the moment.
We've had thank you, Ruben. A question. One of the students, Evelina, has said she's having a bit of trouble hearing, and I'm still doing that too. I don't know if perhaps if you just switch to audio, Ruben, maybe that would help.
Sure, yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah, thanks. Evan and Evelina both raised a question saying it's a bit hard to hear, and I've had that. We've just asked Ruben to switch his picture off, see if that improves the connection.
Is that any good? Does that work?
You're cutting out a little bit for me. Can you hear me, Ruben?
Oh yeah, it's kind of a bit sketchy.
Okay, I'll try a different part of the room in case that makes a difference.
I'm going to hang out of the window now. catch that flying Wi-Fi.
How's that? Any better?
Keep talking.
The router now, actually.
You're still not. We're just losing the odd word, which makes it a bit difficult to.
Okay. Is that okay?
That's a bit better.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm holding it right next to my face now.
Okay, so perhaps could I try you, Ribbon? Could you just say again? I think I'm not quite sure how much people got the first time round, so perhaps
Sure.
you just repeat.
Starting from the beginning.
Yes, please.
So my research is looking at how individuals can control and understand how their data is being used by organisations. And so this includes in digital marketing, where a lot of the time it's based that companies create profiles of individual consumers based on things that they've looked at, web, things that they've purchased, and they'll use that information to create a profile of what kinds of things that person might be interested in. So then they can use that to target messages, content, product information. And so I'm interested in potential new form of profiling, which some companies are actually starting to be interested in, which instead of gathering data about people in the past, actually asks people like individual humans to
Hey, Ruben, I'm sorry, we're losing you again. I don't think it's going to. I tell you what I suggest. I know you've written a blog post about this with a link to the survey. What I'll do is I'll send that round to the group because I think we're probably going to struggle to raise questions with you because it starts okay for a minute and then it seems to just break up. Or maybe I'll tell you what we could try as one last thing. If Olya and I go on to talk a little bit of admin that we were going to do, perhaps if you could drop the connection and reconnect and see if that makes a difference.
Yeah, I'll try that.
All right, thanks very much.
All right. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Right, so while Ribbon's having another go at connecting, perhaps we could just, Olya and I, just go for a little bit of admin about where we've got to. You should now be well into the topic 3 post, which topic 3 topic, which is all about applying things we've covered so far to building your own professional online identity. And tomorrow in detail we'll go through some feedback on your topic 2, but it's very much building on that, but thinking about it in the context of how you're going to develop your own profiles in terms of looking for jobs in the future, and to think about what an employer perspective on these issues might be. So, like I said, I've only marked a few so far, but there's a few general points that occurred to me that I noted down here that I thought I'd raise with you. And the first one concerns the movie Catfish, which a number of you have made a reference to, and that's a particularly interesting film with regard to some of the issues around online identity, or rather scary in some respects. But I would definitely encourage anyone who's not seen that film to watch it, and anyone who has watched it, and perhaps people who referred to it in their posts, if you'd like to produce a more detailed review for the benefit of the group, I think that would be really helpful, because there's definitely all sorts of things and themes from that Catfish film that I think are very relevant to all the things we're trying to do here. So I think that would be a useful exercise. Also pleased to see that most of you now seem to have got. Oh, thanks, Olya. You made the whole screen jump then. Most of you have got the hang of the structure now in terms of doing the comments and that kind of thing, which is good to see, and finding more links for yourselves rather than just relying on the ones shared with you. Also glad to see that a number of you seem to have got a lot of benefit out of the discussion with Chris yesterday. So it seems that the connection we had to Scotland was better than the one we had to London for the room just now. But hey ho, that's how it goes. And yes, obviously putting in the marketer's perspective is a good thing, because after all, that's what the whole thing is about here, not just how we as consumers behave, but what all this means for marketers and how they can best interact with people, even they may be dealing with one very uniform identity or not, as the case may be. And clearly many of you are split on that issue as to whether it's best to have a number of online profiles or consolidate them all into one. Okay, so we're not seeing Ruben back yet, so hopefully he will be able to clean that in. But
you're a bit unclear as well.
Yeah.
You start a sentence and it's fine, and then it kind of drops a bit, so I'm not sure what is happening.
That's a pity. All right, well, we'll try you now then, Olya. Can we pass over to you and see if we can get a better sound quality, and if there's anything you wanted to throw into the discussion today?
So, the same as Lisa, I've only had a look at a few of the posts for topic 2, but what I've seen so far looks really good. Definitely improvements immediately from topic 1, which was very quick. Don't have any specific things yet because I've only done a few, but yeah, it seems like everyone's really picking up on what they should be doing, and people are interacting well. Because there's that many more of you in Singapore than on the course in Southampton. I think you can get a lot more people, a lot more kind of variety in your interactions. So it's quite good to read maybe not the same, not the posts from the same people every time. Maybe have a look around what everyone else is doing, and kind of put a bit of variety into what kind of comments you're responding to. And you don't always have to pick the posts that you kind of agree with. Try and ask questions of the people who have written something completely different, and see if you can kind of have a conversation and see what happens then. So I think that's probably it from me for now. I hope everyone's alright and they can see their feedback as it comes out. If anyone's got problems, then do let us know, either via Twitter or by email, and we'll try and sort it out.
Okay, thanks, Olya. And I was hearing you loud and clear there, so hopefully everyone else did as well. I'm not seeing any questions. Has anyone got any questions, particularly if you felt you didn't hear anything that we've been saying? Please give us a bit of feedback and we can repeat as need be. Not seeing anything up there at the moment. What else did I want to say this morning? Oh yes, Twitter. I wanted to encourage you to make more use of Twitter. If you have a look at the other module, which has a hashtag of UOM2033, you'll see, or if you look at my tweets, you'll see a number that I've done using that hashtag. Then if you search for those and have a look at how the students on that group are using Twitter, I know they're further on in the course than you are, but it might give you some ideas. They're not just tweeting links to their blogs, but in some cases they're actually extending the conversations they've had with people on their blogs to Twitter. So they're putting in a link to a comment on their blog, for example, and they're tweeting something like, "Oh, a great comment on my blog from person X, really made me think," or something like that. So, we would encourage you to be more proactive with how you use Twitter, or if there's something that you've come across from the blogs that you've read, you might just want to tweet a link to it and say, read so and so's blog, really good question or really good article on whatever. So you're just sharing things with the group as a whole, but otherwise you might just keep within a small group conversation. So things that you think will be useful. So we just take that example of catfish that I mentioned just now. One or two of you that I've read so far have made reference to the film, but I thought, great, the people who read those particular posts will see that. But I thought it was something that was worth highlighting for the whole group because it is a particularly useful film. So anything like that you come across that you think everyone would benefit from, please feel free to circulate it. And that also links into the request I made about hash follow when I asked you to recommend accounts that everyone should be following on Twitter that will be useful to you through the course going forwards, either educationally or professionally. And that's particularly important, I think, as we move now into topic 3, when part of the whole aspect of building your professional online profile is building your networks. And that really means connecting with the right people on Twitter, all the right organisations, all the right events, all the right communities generally that will help you to develop that aspect of your online identity. Okay, I'm still not seeing any questions, so perhaps if someone could just confirm they can hear me okay. You hearing me okay, Emil?
Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm hearing you fine. I'm a little bit worried that no one's asking a question. We've got 23 viewers apparently, but they've all been very quiet. So, and we haven't got Ruben back, so I'm guessing his connection hasn't improved. Actually, we had an issue with connecting to Ruben on another class last week that he was doing an introduction to, and it turned out he was actually in the building of Deutsche Telekom when he was doing it, so he thought it was actually a reasonably good place to be connecting from, but hey ho, always help these things. You're not seeing any questions, no smileys, nothing slightly worrying. Please let us know you're still there.
Maybe we could just ask how people are finding doing a course in this way, so doing it nearly fully online, or fully online. What are the main difficulties? Are there things that they're frustrated with, or are there things that they really like, that they would want all the courses to be like this, or not?
Yeah, that's a good point. I was thinking of doing the mid-module survey, which is basically just 2 very quick questions. It doesn't allow a huge amount of detail, but does give us a bit of feedback while the module's still running, and enables us to make changes if need be. So I'll get that sent out to you today. But yeah, I mean, it's a good point, Olya. If there's anything in particular you'd like to raise now through the questions, please feel free to do so. Or if you don't want to raise it in public, then just send us an email if you've got any comments you want to make about how you think the module could be improved. We'd be delighted to get your feedback. And I'm still not seeing any questions, which is, can someone please just confirm that
I might have to test it, because this is the first time I don't normally open the questions, because I have the student's view in a different window where I'm watching to see just to keep track how we appear on the screen.
Yeah.
So for example, at the moment it's a few seconds behind, and all you can see is my blinking face. I'm not speaking, so I'm not sure what happened there.
You should see me now. I've just switched it back to me.
I mean, I see you in our live screen, but in what the students see is just me at the moment, which is quite scary, and I'm not saying anything.
That's a bit worrying. Okay. Well, I'm just going to have. I'm sorry if this is terribly boring, but I'm just going to have a quick look at Twitter and see if anyone's tweeted any questions, because it's a little bit weird that we're not getting any feedback here. So bear with me a second.
So that's what I'm saying. I could ask a test question.
Oh yeah, do yeah. Okay, I'm just looking at my tweet deck to see if anyone's tweeted anything. Okay, no one seems to be tweeting a panicked question saying they can't see or hear. on Twitter anyway. Going back to Google Plus. If we've got any comments on Google Plus. No, it's telling me we've got 18 people watching. No questions. Right, and I'm now going back to... Oh, there's some questions appearing. Fantastic. Right, I enjoy that. Sometimes there's frustration with the technical matters. Yes, I sympathise with that very much at this very moment. Yes, thank you, Evelina. We're doing our best to resurrect that, but I'm glad you're still there. Yeah, okay, Evan, you're saying the audio is pretty muffled today. Yeah, I'm not sure why that should be. I mean, we're both in the same place, on the same devices, aren't we, Julia? We're all on the same connections as we have been. So maybe we've just picked a bad day for the internet. I hopefully it'll be better on the recording. Don't forget you can check back. And I say I have got a blog post of Ruben's where he summarises what he was trying to say to you. I realised that you probably didn't get the full gist of that, so I'll send you a link to that as well. But thanks for raising the question. Okay, Evelina. Yeah. Okay, yes, we've talked about that. And yes, thank you. That is working. So the questions are working, which is good. So something's working. Right. In that case, then I think we might. Have I mentioned everything? Talked about topic 3, Twitter. Yeah, I think we're pretty much covered. I'm just going to summarise briefly for you what the reasons for bringing Ruben in and how I think his work is relevant, because I do want to make sure you've got that clear, and I'll send you a link to his blog post anyway. But basically, what you've been looking at with regard to online identity in your posts, whether you have commented on how the more personal information that you reveal online through the different networks that you engage with and the people you discuss with on those networks, then the more information you're basically giving to the companies out there who can then approach you for marketing purposes through whatever channels or means that they feel most appropriate. So there's really two schools of thought on that. One is that it's great because it might mean you get very targeted promotions or targeted communication that are very useful to you. But other people might think it's really quite creepy that someone's out there basically checking up on you and finding out your likes and dislikes and perhaps knows too much about you for your comfort. So what Ruben's really been looking at is this notion of self-managed profiles, where basically there are companies now springing up that allow you to control more specifically, or very specifically in some cases, who can see what information about you. So if you imagine a kind of traffic light system where you've got sort of 3 colours, red, amber and green, and there might be some organisation, for example, that you don't want anything to do with, you don't want them to know anything about you. So they'd be on your red list, and you'd be effectively able to block those companies from finding out what you're doing online. There might be other companies that you deal with that you kind of have to for administrative purposes. It might be government departments, for example, or health services, that kind of thing. And you don't particularly want to give them any more information than you want, but you've got to give them something. So they'd be kind of on your amber list. And then there's the green list, where you say, great, I really like these companies and I'm happy for them to know everything they want to know about me, because I really want to know what they sell and so I can buy more stuff from them. So, from a marketer's point of view, depending on whether you're on someone's red, amber or green list, then you're going to have more or less access to them, and therefore a lot more control to the consumer. So I think that taps in quite nicely with what people have been saying in their blog posts about identities and sharing personal information of who they share it with, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I thought you would find it interesting to have a go at his survey. He's basically set up a little test where you can compare the kind of adverts you see online where you've specified what you're interested in versus whether a company has been targeting you without your knowledge. So it's really kind of a simulation of how that works. You can get to see what differences there are between you managing it yourself and companies doing it on your behalf. So I think you'll find it an interesting exercise to have a go at that survey, which we've included a link to. And I'll also send you a link to his blog post where he probably explains it better than I do. Okay, so that was, I'm sorry you weren't able to hear him terribly well in person, and hopefully it made a little bit, some of what I said made a little bit of sense. I'm not seeing any more questions. Has anyone got any general comments, things they want to raise about topic 3, any of the issues there? See anything? Okay, Olya, is there anything else from you?
No, I think everything's okay on my side. I've not heard of any problems. 1 or 2 questions I had, I think, were answered. So all good for me.
Okay, great. Right, well, I'm not seeing any more questions coming through, so I think we're going to sign off now. I'm sorry if you found the sound not too good today. Hopefully you can check it back on the YouTube, it might be better. We'll try again tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be back to our usual selves. So still not seeing any questions. Does anyone want to just confirm that you're okay, you know what you're doing, send a smiley? Good. I'm not seeing any. We'll send us a smiley before we sign off. Looks like we've got 24 of you there listening in, so hopefully you can see and hear us okay. So I think the key takeaways from today's session are, try and make more proactive use of Twitter. Think about for your topic 3 posts. Think about not just what it means for you, but what it means from from a marketing perspective, or in this case, given that we're talking about employability really, from a recruiter's perspective. So you are marketing yourselves. Great, fantastic. We've got a smiley. That's brilliant. So yes, in topic 3, it's really you who are the product, and how you put yourself across online to a potential employer can really make a big difference. We don't want to get too hung up in this module on sort of negative issues of identity theft and cyberbullying and things like that. So let's turn it around in topic 3 and look at some of the really positive and proactive things that we can be doing with the technology for the benefit of our learning and our employability. Great, so thank you for the comments and the smileys. So we're going to sign off now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Okay? I'm going to wave and click goodbye. Okay, cheerio for now.